Wrestling buddies want to be your buddy.
What's going on?
Hey, buddy. Buddy!
You got me mad now.
Many believe that settles were scored at WrestleMania, but if Payback was any indication, we are just getting started. That means it's time for the Wrestling Compadres Slamcast right here on AfterBuzz TV. If you're listening on Podcast 1, welcome. Good news. Everything is fixed with Podcast 1.
That's right. All the duct tape was broken out, and they fixed it right up.
Everything is fixed, which feels great. So if you're listening again on Podcast 1, it's good to have you in. If you're watching on YouTube on AfterBuzz TV, we welcome you to the show. And
how are you doing?
How are you doing? We're doing great. Payback is over. We have so much to talk about. We also have our interview with Sasha Banks coming up, the boss from WrestleMania Radio Row from that weekend. That's going to be a lot of fun. With that said, let's get right into it. We have a lot to talk about. All right, Goldust, I'm going to get into it right now. We are at WrestlingBuds on Twitter. We're Facebook.com/WrestlingBuds. I am at Jay Quasto. On to the introductions. This man sitting to my left, he is the host of He's the host of Curtain Jerks and the 16 Bits podcast. You can find him on Twitter at Curtain Jerks. That's because he's Scott Narver.
Scott Narver, he's Scott Narver. Curtain Jerk Compadre, he's always there to save the day. Scott Narver, he's Scott Narver.
Well, there's so many things to talk about. Number one, thank you to Tyler Breeze for not only doing his own theme song.
Don't you dare.
Mine as well.
No, he did not.
Yeah, and now he's a tag team aficionado.
Yeah.
So good for him. He's doing a lot of stuff.
Come on, get into it.
It's part of the gorgeous truth.
That's right.
And he wrote your song.
That's right.
And he recorded your song.
And performed the song.
Did he put the microphone on a selfie stick? Do you know?
Of course he did.
Okay.
This is a DIY time.
Well, don't yell at me. I'm just asking if he put the mic on a selfie stick.
That's just me being close to you, and now I'll talk into your microphone and be over here.
Jesus, that's really...
This is Compadres.
All right, also in studio, that gentleman right there, he is back from Houston, Texas. He is the pride of TCU. He is a horned frog. He's wearing a sweet Batman t-shirt and a Dallas Cow. No, it's not.
Houston Astros.
Houston Astros. I'm sorry, I saw a star. I just went with it. Find him on Twitter at crice17. He's Chuck Rice.
He's a man.
I thought maybe you were supporting the Cowboys after their draft of Ezekiel Elliott.
I do like that pick.
All right.
But you host a sports show, right? Just want to make sure we got to teach you your logos.
Well, the show was college football. It wasn't the Houston Astros. I mean, that's also a very new logo.
Which college teams have a star in their logo?
Wait, time out. Time out. A new
get
logo?
some flashcards. That's the
This
old
is
logo.
the old logo.
How old? The old
From like when I was a
Bagwell
kid.
Beach,
the old Astros I know is like the red and the
The
orange.
Tequila Sunrise.
Yeah. That was their old logo?
That was the logo
Kurt
after
Russell.
Tequila Sunrise.
Yeah, this was the 90s one, man.
Oh, the 90s one. See, I'm thinking
Bagwell,
80s Astros.
BGO,
Yeah.
The Killer Bees.
Berkman, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson,
Osmus.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh, I love Brad Osmus.
Old Pfeiffer. We know she's a huge Astros fan.
I'm excited that you guys had me on your baseball podcast today.
Yeah. And when you're wearing a Giants hat, for God's sake. Let me introduce this man. He is an editor for SB Nation, also a writer for SB Nation, and a prolific feature film writer as well. How many movies of yours can be seen right now?
4 movies can be seen right now. 3, I believe, are on Netflix at the moment.
So please give us the titles.
I think the ones that are on Netflix are Age of Tomorrow, Flight World War II, and Three-Headed Shark Attack, starring Danny Trejo and Rob Van Dam.
Danny Trejo just opened a taco
He did.
restaurant.
Trejo's Tacos.
That sounds...
Here in
all
Los
right.
Angeles.
I love the
alright.
wordplay.
So go afterwards, get some lengua
We should.
tacos.
But first, I'm going to introduce...
Overpriced.
First, we get stop with the tacos. I'm going to introduce this man. Find him on Twitter at Sundown Motel. He's Bill Handstock.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. It's great to be here on the Wrestling Padres podcast, the morning zoo at drive time. Hey, how's it going? We're here with Weasel and the Squid.
Yeah, I was going to say...
That's a great Danny Trejo.
This is Mad Dog. This is Mad
That's
Dog
my
and
Danny
Giraffe
Trejo.
Neck.
Hey, I'm Machete. Thanks, Robert Rodriguez, for putting me in another movie. Danny Trejo here. If they really knew the final score, my name would be Johnny 122. Whatever.
What if he really talked like that?
That'd be great.
He does.
And then
Did
he-
you ever?
His Danny Trejo voice is a work.
I met him once, and he's not a big guy.
No, he's tiny.
Tiny dude.
He's a little dude.
And then he just says,
I'm not telling tales out of school here. He's wee.
Yeah.
I met him at
It's
that
a small
Lucha
man's
taping
world,
we
that
went to.
Hollywood.
Right? Well, Tom Cruise is
it is.
4'2", and
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
a superhero.
Kurt Russell's in my pocket right now.
Seth Green doesn't even exist.
No, he doesn't.
He's on the quantum scale.
No.
He is Ant-Man.
Dude, like no joke. Seth Green is like the smallest person I've ever met. Like I met him once and I shook his hand and I thought I was gonna kill him.
He's little.
Yeah, he's very recognizable because you go like, is that an adult?
He actually has to. There's a reason he sits front row at Raw. He has to.
Yeah,
He won't see anything.
you have to be really careful not to get him in your eye if you or
Yeah.
you're like, oh Seth, sorry.
Well, Danny Trejo, man, I don't care how small he is. As soon as he goes machete, you're like, oh.
He will hack you up with a big knife.
Yeah.
blood and urine and vomit.
So much great stuff to talk about. By the way, Dale Rutledge, we don't know if he's going to be joining us. Right now, he is currently at the French Embassy in Washington, D.C. at some event, and we don't know if he's going to get out of it in time. If he does, he's going to certainly let us know and give us a call.
Is he watching the La Resistance reunion tour?
Yeah, he is.
I just want to know, is his neighbor there with him?
I don't think Dale's neighbor is really into French things. Have you heard? Do you know?
You don't think so?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him this
I
week.
mean, that's kind of ignorant to assume that he's not cultured.
Well, have you talked to Dale's neighbor this week? I haven't.
No, I have not.
Well, if you happen to get a hold of him at all during the show, just feel free to have him chime in, because I don't know anything about the French Embassy. I do know it's rather fancy, and I know Dale's doing something there, and I don't know if he's going to join us.
He's handing out doilies?
He might be. But whatever, I'll hit his music.
puppy. I got a puppy.
Probably
All right.
a French poodle, that puppy.
Oh, yeah. Better believe it. La Resistance. Just the way you could just make everything sound obnoxious when you're French.
Yeah. Sylvain Grenier.
Do you guys think Dale owns one of those Roman Reigns sweaters or vests?
The flak jackets?
Probably does.
It is a vest.
It is.
It's best for business.
It's a protective vest.
Yeah, protective vest for business.
Yeah.
That's longevity.
That's why his booking's so bulletproof.
He's damn good at it. Damn good at it. Speaking of damn good, hit up our iTunes page, rate us 5 stars, write us a sweet review if you haven't done that yet. If you do, we appreciate you. The next Championship Wrestling from Hollywood taping is Sunday, May 15th. Right now, the Coastline Clash Part 2 episode is on TV, as well as Fight TV. Download the Fight TV app, FITE. I know, Scotty, you're a big fan of that app already.
I do.
As am
like
I.
Great app.
It's
Also-
amazing how crystal clear it works.
Also, what you should be aware. This is how I have to watch Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Is I'm a Patreon patron.
Me too. Yeah, I don't know how much longer Patreon's going to be going, but at least we're definitely on Fight TV.
Okay.
But we'll see. Either way, Coastline Clash Part 2 was really, really fun. So please watch and join us on May 15th if you're around. And with that said, Slamcast News. I had to be very quiet because the band was getting obnoxious before the show.
Wait, what is that musical sting from?
We have an all mice band
Oh, okay.
that actually they I don't know if you saw them. They go under the door. One of them has the big drums. What are they called?
Drums.
Drums, right. The other one has the horn. What are those called?
Horns.
Yeah, and then one of them has the guitar that they play. What are they called?
Guitar.
Yeah. So the all mice band comes in and they play the song. So so it's not
They also work
What
for
are their
Global
names?
Force Wrestling.
the names.
So they have nothing to do right now.
The names. We got Randy is one of them.
Yeah.
Todd. And I think Shireen.
Yeah.
I think there's a female mouse in there.
Laney Poffo, the mouse.
Yeah, Lenny Poffo. That's the smartest one. So yeah, they come in every day.
He is the genius mouse, full of glory and renown.
Otherwise known as the brain.
Right.
They have their rockstar running order that he writes on a frisbee, and then always they lose it because he throws it.
Exactly. All right, here's some news, guys. This actually just dropped, so there's been
Hot off
rumors.
the presses.
Yeah,
Breaking.
hot off the presses. There's been rumors about what's going on with Ryback in WWE. He did just post a blog about his situation right now. I know, Scotty, you had a chance to take a look at it.
He tongue blasted that bad
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
I pulled one sort of big thing from it. So he says, wrestling is predetermined. We as performers know before we go out to the ring to perform a backstage scene who's winning and losing, etc. and have a general tide of what we're going to say. It blows my mind how in a sport which is predetermined from a company standpoint, winners are paid so much more than the losers. Every single person who works for WWE from top to bottom is absolutely just as valuable as the next. The winners cannot win unless the losers go out there and agree to lose to them.
Okay.
So he's looking for equal pay.
You know, here's the thing about what he's saying. To an extent, he's 100% right. And on the flip side, he's also 100% wrong. So it's kind of like a weird, you know, because he's right. It is predetermined. He's right. You know, every person that goes out there, it takes two to tango kind of thing. You can't have someone win without someone losing. And it is predetermined. Sure. But not everyone is as valuable as the next person. Some of them just aren't as good. And the bottom line is usually the people that they're putting over, I mean, in an idealistic world at least, is that they're the ones that are the better performers a lot of the time in the eyes of WWE.
It's not always the way it works out, though.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, like, I'm totally on board with what he's saying, and he does also acknowledge that, like, the people that are usually winning are the ones who sell the more merch, usually, and they're the ones who have more merch, and they have the right to that because they've been selected to be the ones who win. So on that end, yeah, if you're an established main eventer, you should be paid more money. If you're selling more merch, you should get more merch money. All that. Those are the perks that go along with winning. But if everyone else is on the mid card, or if everyone else is on the upper mid card, the guys who are there to make the other guys look good should be paid the same as the guys who, like, there's a dividing line for sure. Like, Ryback should not be paid the same as John Cena right now.
No.
You know, like, Ryback should not be paid the same as Roman Reigns right now.
But we wouldn't think he'd be asking.
But Ryback should be paid like the same as Dolph Ziggler.
Okay, but here's the thing too. Ryback, in that same blog where he's posting it, he posted about how he's proud that he's never asked to have an outcome of a match change, anything like that. Yeah. And he's saying that, you know, he goes out there and if he knows he's going to lose, he's going to lose, and he thinks he should have the same opportunity as the guy winning. Yeah. How about all the times that WWE has tried to put Ryback over and tried to make him the main event guy, gave him the wins, he didn't go out there and lose, and he couldn't get over because he just kind of sucks.
Wow.
I mean, look, sorry, but it's true.
I think Ryback, especially the past 2 to 3 years, the problem with Ryback has never been Ryback. The problem with Ryback has been how he's used, his motivations, his storyline. I think especially over the past year,
the last
Ryback's
few months,
awesome.
Especially the last few months have been great.
Yeah, right now Ryback is awesome.
When he goes out there and he cuts a promo about the book The Secret, I don't care. You can't tell me that's good, and you can't tell me that he tried his hardest with that. That was terrible.
No, he did try his hardest with that, but that's what he was given. Like, that was them ribbing him for talking about The Secret in other interviews. The bummer. So they're like, go out and cut a promo on it. That's what I'm saying. Like, the problem with Ryback has never been Ryback. Just like the problem with Roman Reigns has never been Roman Reigns.
He's killing
ever.
it. Yeah.
Roman Reigns is awesome. If you say Roman Reigns can't wrestle, you're wrong. Yep. If you say Ryback can't wrestle, you're wrong. If you say Roman Reigns is a bad professional wrestler, you're super wrong.
Oh, especially after Sunday.
Reigns both delivered huge.
Yes.
But here's the thing that like you have to recognize too: being a professional wrestler is not just about your ability in the ring. Because Roman Reigns is good, Ryback is good, but Ryback sucks on the mic, and he's not going to get over the way he wants to.
I will disagree with you completely. Yeah. I think when we've seen Ryback do the characters that work for him, whether he's being the bully or the big guy, what he did on Sunday was so great. Where he gets trolled all the time from Chicago wrestling fans. Yeah. What does he come out? He comes out and he mocks the CM Punk thing, which was genius. Like, oh, you guys want to make fun of me? I'll give it right back to you. And then his gear said the pre-show stopper. That's great.
That's the great thing about Ryback is, like, he trolls people, but every time he trolls people, he also trolls himself because he knows exactly what people think of him, and he knows exactly what the company thinks of him.
I mean, and that's all fine, but like if he's sitting here and his issue is about trying to create equal pay, and he wants to be like, and again, I agree with a lot of what he said.
And he is not trying to create equal pay. He's saying that he wants a certain amount of money.
But here's the thing: if you want that, it's not the smartest idea. No, despite how funny it might be to go out there with the pre-show on your, tights. Well, I mean, like that's a big middle finger to the company.
In this blog post, he says, "I may very well be released for this, but I'm totally fine with what has happened." The two things: one, if Ryback does get released, if he doesn't get his contract renewed, if they can't come to an agreement, or if they let him go, he's going to land on his feet. He's going to go any number of other places and make a bunch of money. Yep. And he's going to be a main eventer wherever. He can go to New Japan, be a Monster Gaijin. He can be to Lucha Underground, feud with Matanza. He can go to TNA and be an instant main eventer and be paid top dollar over there.
In-ring talent.
He can go all over the indies, wrestle in Reseda, team with Cage. Like, he can do whatever he wants.
And he's a smart guy. I think he realizes that, when you're in a business like pro wrestling, you do have a short window. And a guy like him who has the injury history that he does, I mean, he said in the past he's grateful that his leg even works.
Yeah.
So I think he realizes it's almost like an NFL player. During an NFL career, you're lucky if you get one big contract, and I think he wants to make sure that he's smart about it.
Yeah.
Now, was this blog gonna be looked at well in the eyes of the company? Maybe not, but at the same time, he's his own man, and like we said before, I think when he's in the character that makes sense for him, I think he's great, and I think he is really good on the mic, and I loved what he did. Him and Kalisto crushed it on Sunday.
Oh yeah,
Amazing
that
match.
gorilla press.
Military press off the top.
My
Yeah.
God. Yeah, and he's
Outstanding.
I appreciate the fact that he's really just putting it out there. Like, he is not going off a script at every moment. Like what we're saying, like, you know, maybe you don't enjoy what he's been doing the last few months, or you know, that stuff, but right now with the pre-show stopper belt and doing the CM Punk thing, that if somebody, it's ask for forgiveness later.
Yeah.
Let's just go out there and do it.
And just like, well, like Adam Rose released that statement, and then he apparently got so much. He said, "There's a second statement coming with my doctor's, you know, statement attached to it."
Sure.
That's never coming, because apparently he got so much heat on him backstage that
Yikes.
He's just like, you know what, I'm just going to be quiet from here on out.
Which is a smart thing to do. Bottom line is, we hope it all works out.
And I wish nothing but the best for Ryback. And I know that whatever ends up happening after this, he's going to land on his feet. He's going to do great. The only thing that I find interesting is he's had this very public beef with Punk, because Punk went on Art of Wrestling and badmouthed him and said he was reckless and all that. But and Ryback's gone on the record again and again and again about, like, Punk quit the business, Punk left the fans. Like, it's kind of interesting that, like, they both are leaving for, like, the same reasons. Like, Punk thought he was a top guy, should be treated like a top guy and given some time off and treated like a main eventer, and you know, he was unhappy with how he was being used, so he took off. And Ryback for the past year has been saying, like, I feel like I have the ability to be, you know, another John Cena. I have the ability to be.
They gave him that opportunity time and time again, and he didn't do it. So he can say it all he wants, but actions speak louder than words. And there's two sides to every story.
For sure.
And I think that it's really easy for Ryback to come out here and put this blog post out and all this. But what's the other side to it? Because god darn, like, there have been countless times on this show in the past, if you go back and listen to the episodes, where every single person, I mean, you weren't in here with us on the panel at the time, but every single one of you had some gripe about Ryback at one point or another.
Yeah.
Sure. You know what I mean? So you can say he's doing something good now, but he's been given countless opportunities. That's where my gripe comes in, because he's making it seem like he's never even had that shot. He's been the guy winning the matches. He's been the guy that put the belt on. He was part of the next big part of it. Like, he's been a part of big stuff and could never get over with the crowd. There's other people that have had the opportunities where it's like, all right, is it going to work? It's not. New Day is a perfect example. They were given something that at first it wasn't working, and they went out there and changed it. Ryback never changes it enough to make it matter where people care about what he's doing. So he can sit here and cry all he wants and try and gain the sympathy.
But there's
for him specifically, I mean, I agree with a lot of what he's saying.
But I think that when you're saying, like, he was been given these opportunities, like, they never really went all the way with him. They pushed him at weird times. Like when he was at his most popular, that's when they couldn't put the belt on him, because Punk was in the middle of his, like, longevity reign. Like, they couldn't make him be a top guy, and they had to have him, like, take a backseat to Del Rio and then take a backseat to
What about when he's been your Intercontinental title champion or your U.S. champion?
Like, he when he was the Intercontinental champ, which is his only title that he's won in WWE, when he was the Intercontinental champ, he was taking over it for Daniel Bryan, which we didn't know was suffering a career-ending injury at the time.
Right.
And they were planning on elevating the title under Daniel Bryan, and then they were like, Intercontinental Championship, Hell in a Cell, whatever, we'll do whatever with it. And it just became another thing again. Like that's the thing. Like, I think that there's two ways you can approach trying to be a star in WWE. One, you can stand up to Vince McMahon and pitch him a million ideas and prove to him that you're your own man. Or two, you can do exactly what the company tells you every single time, which is the Miz route.
And it's not necessarily
Big Show route.
And that's the route that Ryback tried to go, and it didn't work out for him.
That's the thing, is you never know what the right way to go is, and it's just a decision you have to make for yourself.
Exactly.
Bottom line is,
The big guy's hungry.
moving on Scary, which turned into positive news. Enzo Amore he's out of the hospital. He's okay. Obviously, he had a major concussion, but that was a very scary moment when he hit those second ropes, and those ropes are not forgiving at all. Luckily, the way he landed, he didn't hit his head again. Obviously, we could assume it was a grade 3 concussion, considering he knocked himself out. But he is up. He's moving around. Who knows when he'll be back? But kudos to Enzo for not hurting himself any worse than he did.
Kudos to the entire WWE for the way they handled that situation and how they used it the next night too. Like the Vaudevillains, the way they used that to get such good heel heat, amazing.
And then
And
it
also,
made
like,
Cass look
Cass,
amazing.
Cass is
Crushed
my
it.
gosh.
Not like people already love Cass, but just the added sympathy of all that and making him look like just a world killer.
I think that was Cass's best showing.
Absolutely. Great stuff. Like, well, Enzo was injured for a long time in NXT.
He had a
to be on
major leg
leg
surgery
injury,
2.5, 3 years ago, and Cass was on his own for a while. And so this is just going to make Cass really stand out even more. And I love how there's nothing fancy about Cass. Does he have other clothing? Probably not. Just has his wrestling gear on 24 hours a day. And the way they work that whole thing is awesome. And, you know, Enzo's probably completely 100% behind it. So get well soon, my friend, because it was a scary sight, but we're glad that you are okay.
Johnny, sorry, just wanted to bounce something off you real quick. Like, let's, of course, none of us are hoping for this in any way, but if there, I feel like if there was ever anyone better prepared to never wrestle again, it's Enzo Amore.
That or Bray Wyatt. They both can jump right into TV and movies.
Right. This is what
I put Enzo as Cass's manager.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like
that too.
Like I feel like Enzo, like WWE especially, but wrestling altogether has moved away from managers and mouthpieces and heaters in the past, 10 years. I feel like if Enzo were to have to retire from active in-ring duty, he is the guy who could be like jumpstart like managers as a thing going forward.
There's
like,
a number of guys.
How much would you love to see in a hypothetical when you talk about that? If you have Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman versus Big Cass with Enzo.
Damn.
And the two mouthpieces going at it.
Or even like, if Enzo becomes a heel manager and then he's like against Cass and he's representing anybody, you know, like he could be, like he absolutely has the potential and more to be like this generation's Bobby Heenan, this generation's Grand Wizard. Like
there's a number of guys on the roster right now that could become great managers. Miz, if he wanted to, could become a great manager eventually.
He's just so good.
Santino, if he wanted to come back.
He's so good all around. Like even Fandango, like Johnny Curtis has so much
charisma.
Yeah, just oozing.
Timing. Charisma.
You mean you wouldn't put Ryback as a manager because he talks so well, Bill?
Yeah. Our truth, man.
That's my dog.
Yeah, that's my dog. Here's some cool news. We all know this happened. We don't know when it's going to air, but Eric Young has debuted in NXT. I did not know this was coming. To me, this was a total surprise. We all knew about Bobby Roode being at TakeOver. There were rumors about maybe Eric Young talking with WWE, but they managed to keep this under wraps, and it looked like his debut was fantastic. And it couldn't have happened to a better guy. So let's round of applause for Eric Young.
That's crazy.
This is, there are very few times in my life where I've wondered what the hell Dixie Carter is probably thinking about something. But this is one of those times I would love to be inside her head to just like see what she's feeling and thinking as she watches every one of these people.
But here's the thing:
it's coming.
I don't think it's the fact of Dixie Carter making a mistake. I think it's the fact of realizing she can no longer afford Bobby Roode or Eric Young. That's all there is to it.
Yep.
Well, I think it's gotten to that point now, but to say that it's about Dixie Carter not making mistakes, if she had made a lot less mistakes and a lot better business decisions a long time ago.
So did WWE, though.
Well, what I'd like to...
We're going to get to Eli Drake and EC3. Like,
but
they let both of those great guys.
And how long do you think that they're going to actually stay with TNA realistically?
I don't know, but they let them go in the first place. That's what I'm just saying. Like, mistakes are always made. Someone's always overlooked. Like, that's forever going to be the case.
And it's the case of, like... It's just the case of wrestling is like sometimes stuff doesn't work out and someone's got to go somewhere else for you to see their true value. Like that's what's happening with Juice Robinson right now. It's what's happened with EC3 and like lots of dudes, and it's happened throughout history. But like whose head I want to see inside more than Dixie's right now is poor James Storm.
Oh man.
Oh no.
Yeah. Like what a like.
But here's the thing though.
Oh, I made the wrong Sophie's choice.
But here's the thing. It's not like we know that he had a contract offer from them. That was never been said.
It's been put out there.
He did some things at NXT, but I don't know if they necessarily said, "Hey, come on in, we'll sign you."
He had a contract. My understanding is James Storm had a contract offer at WWE for NXT, and there was a lot of
paid
upside,
as much as Ryback,
and there was a lot of upside potential to it.
For money.
TNA offered him more guaranteed money up front.
Well, geez, I hope we pay him.
But I don't know if they're going to be able to cash that check.
Guaranteed.
And on the note
Lifetime
of
guarantee.
Eli Drake and EC3, I'm telling you, within the next 3 years, one, if not both of them, will be back in WWE.
I'll tell you, within the next 25 years, it'll happen.
Wait, was Eli Drake in WWE at one point?
He was with NXT for a full year.
Oh, Sean Ricker.
He was under Slate Randall.
What a hipster.
Slate Randall.
That was his name.
Wow, that's a name, buddy.
I will tell you this.
That's like a coworker of Fred Flintstone.
I mean, I will tell you this. If EC3 goes back to WWE,
Slate Randall.
I'm pretty sure his
it's
name's...
a living.
If EC3 goes back, I'm pretty sure his name's not going to be Carter. Let's just put it...
Yeah, probably not.
or
It's gonna
maybe
if he
it
is,
would
he's a
be,
jobber.
just to take another
Yeah,
little
he's-
fuck you to Dixie.
Ethan McMahon III.
Oh, Jesus. Wow, brother of Hornswoggle?
Yeah.
Perhaps?
Yeah.
Cousin of Kennedy.
Oh, man. Maria Kanellis revealed on Instagram she has a broken hand. We don't know when that happened, but well wishes to her, and we hope it heals real quick. Doesn't look
A
like
miraculous recovery is what we hope
miraculous. A miracle version of a recovery.
for. Yeah.
We don't know if it required surgery. I don't think it did, so hopefully just 6 to 8 weeks she'll be good as new. And speaking of TNA, they announced this week, I'm not quite sure how, but they've signed some people.
Two new signings, one re-signing.
They re-signed Robbie E, and they signed Caleb Conley and
Dude,
Sienna.
I'm telling you, these contracts must seriously say guaranteed money, like with guaranteed in quotes, like scare quotes. But I'm super happy for Caleb Conley.
Yeah.
Totally deserves
Look.
it. I can't believe this dude, like, it took him this long to be, like, at this level. Like, really happy for him.
And look, we want TNA to thrive. Like we're the biggest champions of every company thriving because that makes the whole business better. It gives more jobs for everyone. So regardless of what the internet's saying, we want them to thrive and do well.
TNA has some awesome stuff right now.
Hell yeah, their shows.
Eli Drake's segment is amazing.
Fact of life.
It's hilarious. But, like, realistically, the question I pose to you three is, how much longer can TNA survive as a company? And when I say survive as a company, I don't mean,
They have to be
like...
sold. They have to be sold.
I don't
if they
mean,
don't
like,
get sold, they're
running shows with TV and doing live... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're...
Look, I only take what I see on the internet with a grain of salt. I don't know what the real story is. I just hope they figure it out because there's so many good people that work for that company, people we know personally. And the episodes have been great. I mean, what Jeff Hardy did last week with the Swanton... What the fuck?
And also, it's we always say, are they gonna thrive? Are they gonna last? Like I say to the fans now, if they're coming to your town, go. Because if they're gonna be gone, say you went. You know.
And if you're an
Go
internet
check it
troll
out.
that just loves to see people have failures, then F off.
It was nice
There's
sitting next
been
to you at WrestleMania booing Roman Reigns, but now go watch TNA. Go there.
There's been a real big backlash to the TNA people coming into NXT, which I don't get at all. And what I think that a lot of people have actually lost sight of over the years is, like, when people make fun of TNA, it's never been them making fun of the talent or the
talent's
ability
always-
or even the in-ring work. It's always just been about
One person.
It's been about Dixie and the decisions that she
not
makes that
necessarily
affect the trickle
one
down.
per- yeah,
it's
yeah,
a couple.
It's the office as a whole. Listen, let me tell y'all. As someone who worked in that office and saw it firsthand, decisions and the people that they allowed to make the decisions there, it's ludicrous. It's
Wait, he was there?
ludicrous.
No.
What's your
He could have done a better job than half the people they had in there at
he's
the time.
looking, feeling, smelling like
that.
$1 million.
Take that, Billy Corgan.
And I'm telling you, from the people you still talk to that are there, whether it's talent, office people, whatever, it hasn't gotten better. Since 2008, it hasn't gotten better. You know, like, the talent is always going to be there, and they're always going to put on a good show, because I'll tell you what, there's one thing about those talent. I don't care if there's 10 people watching them or there's 1,000 people watching them. Those guys at TNA always go out there and bust their ass, and they put on good matches.
Yes, they do.
But fuck, man, like, there's just really no excuse for how they are treated as a, you know, and you see that's why I get a little, like, when, you know, going back to the Ryback thing, seeing his blog about all this, like, at least, you know, he's making the money and he's getting his paycheck, and it's a lot more than half the dudes at TNA are probably making to deal with a hell of a lot more bullshit.
Well, let's hope that everything works itself out. I imagine every single week it's going to continue to be different stories. We will certainly follow them and hope for the best. But Randy, Todd, Shireen, the news is over. Can you start playing the music? Okay. You know, as difficult as the House Mouse Band is difficult. They're very difficult to work with, but they're usually on time.
Usually.
Yeah, well, right now they're really on point.
They've been hanging out with Dale and going to the French embassy.
Well, you said
because
one
they
of
want
them's-
some Chiz?
You said one of them was named Brain. He's probably just trying to take over the world.
Nickname Brain. That's right. And Pinky's just running into walls. So much to talk about. Let's get right into Payback, y'all, on top of Raw. AJ and Reigns.
Holy crap.
Hot damn.
That was killer.
Thing about this match. Just. If my hands were emojis, it'd be this one right here.
Poop?
The double high five.
The poop?
The
smiling
the
poop?
U,
Poop one?
The U.
Is that what? Yeah, whatever this one is.
No, it's just you're right. Raised hands.
I'm just like, hey, amazing. Everything about it told such an incredible story. I remember at one point I thought AJ had it won. It was I think he hit the 450 off the top ropes, and I was like, this is it. And I rarely get this really angry watching wrestling more. When Reigns kicked out, I remember I just go, ah, damn it! Like, I just yelled at my device that I was watching it on because I was so into that match. And like you said, for people can boo Reigns as champion.
There's no reason to boo him after that.
You can't boo him as a performer anymore. I'm sick and tired of it. He brings it every single time. He beats the living crap out of himself in these matches. And him and AJ Styles put on artwork on Sunday.
Yeah. It was killer. Same as you. I got totally sucked in.
Man.
I was a fan, and I was sitting there and getting all excited, thinking that I really believed that AJ could have won it, and just
because he could have.
Just totally believed in everything, and was muttering and swearing and like hitting the couch, going, "Ah, come on!" I was way into it.
How hard were you hitting the couch?
Oh man, that couch is brutalized,
permanently dented.
Mm-hmm.
They did such a fabulous job of storytelling too.
Yep.
Like, you know, as much as we all wanted AJ to win, you know, like in the back of your mind when you sat down to first watch that match, you probably went into it like, no way AJ wins, no chance. It's gonna be, you know. And by the end of it, you're thinking, holy shit, he could do this.
AJ did damage,
and like it made me like really excited just knowing that there was gonna be another match between the two of them. And on top of that, they did such a great job pushing the other stories around that match too, so well.
How about Bill, Gallows, and Anderson? They've shown up a few weeks ago, and all of a sudden, right into a major storyline.
Yeah, I think that how they've been handling this AJ Reigns, Gallows, and Anderson story has been pretty close to flawless. It's been awesome. It's been playing out really slowly. Every new little bit is fun, and they still haven't played all their cards yet, because even up through Raw, it's all different people seeing different angles. It's a Rashomon thing, you know. It's like different people seeing different angles of the same story. It's like Reigns isn't seeing everything that's going on, Styles isn't seeing everything that's going on. He's clearly not fully on board with what Gallows and Anderson are doing, but is it a ruse? We don't know. But storyline flawless. Like I absolutely loved all of the match, and I loved like Stephanie and Shane coming out, like just a throwback to like Over the Edge versus like Austin Foley. Like now this match is a a throwback to that, but also like it took me until like 1 minute after Shane had come out and been like, now it's a no DQ, or Stephanie or whoever, now it's a no DQ match. It took me like a full minute to be like, oh wait, no DQ.
Yep.
Gallows and Anderson.
Yep.
Oh, it could happen. Like. Yeah, totally invested. Like,
and that makes you wonder. Great. Oh, are Gallows and Anderson going to do something crazy? Are they going to turn on AJ?
But I love that part right there too, where Stephanie comes out and she's like, because my brother didn't do it right. Although, you know, like pushing that element of it too. They did like this is my favorite version of Stephanie right now. This is that conniving, but like towing the line of like, I'm going to try and be nice, but really I'm plotting against you hardcore. Yeah, and it's the best.
Yeah.
And that phenomenal forearm from the inside of the ring to the outside,
through the table,
through Reigns, was so instant and so quick. Didn't see it coming, didn't see it happening, and then it just looked like a car wreck.
Yeah, ever since 2004, 2005, like when I would see like pictures on the internet of AJ and TNA in the 6-sided ring, like in midair, and I was like, that's the coolest move in wrestling, and it's still awesome. Like it's maybe even better now, like a decade further after he's been using it, and I'm so happy he's using it as a finisher now. That's so awesome.
Well, and I like that too, because it makes whenever he tries to do the Styles Clash, or whenever he does finally, you know, get those few opportunities to hit it, it's gonna make it that much more special.
Or you know, like when Johnny got sucked in, like the 2 phenomenal forearms and then the springboard 450.
I mean, come on,
you're like, this has gotta be it.
Gotta be it. And then, of course, on Raw, Reigns returned the favor and ends up a whole melee.
He gave a springboard 450.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's what it was. But a whole melee breaks out, a lot of miscommunications, chairs get involved. Reigns just destroys Styles through the announce table. And I love the fact that dudes don't care what they have to do.
Yep.
they're just trying to take each other out.
And I'm also happy that this is like they're finally aligning Reigns perfectly. Like, he's not a heel, he's not a face, he's the guy.
He's
and
the creator wrestler in the story mode.
Right, he's gonna do.
The guy is gonna get him.
Right, he's just gonna do what he has to do. I also like that.
But I like that they're towing that line with him now too, where they're putting him with the Usos. So it's like, all right, well, we got these, like Gallows and Anderson, and you got these two here, and it's like, AJ's kind of going in between now, like. Because you can't really call AJ the straight up babyface anymore.
Sure
you can. I don't know. I feel like he's inching towards that like kind of middle ground where it's like
he's just hanging out with a questionable crowd.
What I may have he's just got some bad influences.
Gallows and Anderson are the kids that want to make you try and smoke cigarettes. Yeah,
like,
and AJ's like, oh,
hey, we found a nudie magazine. Let's go look at it behind the trees.
Let's go to the woods.
Yeah. What I think I liked maybe the most out of that segment was that like the Usos had zero chill, and were the dudes who like escalated things way out of control. They're like, they were going to use a chair. We're going to use a chair. Pah, pah.
Hey, Samoan temper, man.
I just love how they say "oos" at the end of everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good
it's like
stuff.
Yins over in Pittsburgh.
That's right, oos.
Yeah, Oos. You should try this 5-hour energy, Oos.
Y'all want to get a Promanti sandwich over there, Oons? Yins, whatever the hell.
Yins want to get.
Want to get a sandwich with French fries?
Sean in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, so or South Jersey. Just got to say the long O. Like, hey, you want to go down the shore? That's how they do it there. Let's see. Yeah, Shane and Steph, of course, have to run Raw together. They seem to get along decently Monday night. But there's so many good stories here. You have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn just crush it at Payback, as do Miz and Cesaro, and now it looks like we're setting up for a fatal four-way.
Yeah, so exciting.
Come on now.
You could talk about how AJ and Reigns stole the show there, but really, I think if you have to put it on one man who stole the show at the pay-per-view, it's Kevin Owens. Mm-hmm. He was that guy can do no wrong in my eyes. He really can.
He's great.
Did commentary
when he was sitting there with JBL's hat on, I almost died, dude.
And him like bullying Byron Saxton to get in the ring and give him an interview, like, so great.
He made someone made Byron Saxton sit on the floor.
Yeah, no, he made it. He made it.
New Day.
New Day on SmackDown.
So funny.
But Kevin Owens did take Byron's seat and made him sit on a folding chair.
Yeah. I don't understand what's happening with Byron Saxton. Payback was nothing but everyone hates Byron Saxton and he shouldn't be there. So when everyone says that for 3 hours, I no longer think anything of Byron Saxton anymore.
I don't understand it either.
Cole is doing it. JBL is doing it.
I don't understand how. Look,
there's just like this, like, you know, he's not helping him, he's not supporting him. He sort of laughs at what JBL will say, and it's like
no disrespect to Byron Saxton, but I don't understand how he kept the job when Rich got fired.
Oh, right, Rich Brandon got.
I don't understand or let go. Or I don't understand that. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Rich and I am obviously biased.
Look, we don't know the story. I don't know.
I'm obviously biased in my opinion of this, but in my opinion, Rich was a far superior announcer.
He might be a guy that Byron's more moldable.
Yeah, Rich is more play-by-play. Byron's certainly not a play-by-play guy. I don't know. I think you're right, though. I think it's just it's ribbing, but it's a lot of ribbing, and it's on camera, so
it's a constant. It's like you gotta either Byron's gotta step up and do something, or
production of the announcers is all over the place on all WWE programming.
They don't know what they're doing right now.
Jerry Lawler, like, he went back to being a heel. That's cool. He's going way too far sometimes. Like him, like on the pre-show, him saying like, I'd rather be stuck in an elevator with Ray Rice than watch the Ambrose Asylum.
That was
I didn't hear that.
That's too much.
Yeah, like he has like it's cool that he's gonna be a heel, but he's got to realize that he can't be the same heel he was in '97.
I mean, AW got fired for something like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
similar.
Well, let's back up a second to Byron Saxton. Has anyone ever fully accepted him in that role as the Raw announcer?
I like Byron. I thought he was good on SmackDown.
I don't think he's ever been fully accepted by the fans as a whole in that role.
I beg to differ. I think people seem to like Saxton for sure.
Yeah. I think what you have to remember with the vast majority of wrestling fans, like, we're the uber nerds. We're a huge exception to the rule. The vast majority of fans, if they see and hear someone on TV every week for years, that's a dude. You know, like, at some point, Michael Cole's going to move into a full-time producer role, or he's going to step away from the business. And right now, Byron's the dude.
But do you really want to see Raw become Byron Saxton and JBL?
I don't care.
I don't.
Well, it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be Saxton and JBL when that happens.
I think it'll be Morrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just what I'm saying is, like,
He's good.
Morrow's great.
No, Morrow's fucking great.
Saxton's been around for so long at this point that, like, he's sort of grandfathered in, and at some point when it stops being a 3-man booth, he's going to be fine. It's just 3-man booths are tricky.
Byron seems like the next Michael Cole, where they're shaping that broadcaster.
He's going to be the guy who will do everything that you tell him to do, and he'll call everything the way you want him to call it. And
See, I feel like Byron Saxton would be better fitted in that role that Michael Cole used to hold with, like, The Rock and that, like, Coach used to have back there, where they were like the guy that, you could make fun of, but they could roll with the punches.
Well, he is doing that. He's the guy that they pick to do that when they need to make fun of someone.
Yeah, Kevin Owens, New Day, like, they're doing it.
Yeah.
He's just not backstage.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he'll ever get to the level of Coach, because Coach was pure comedy for a while, which and he was great at it. And look where he is now. Hell, he's one of the best people on ESPN. I like Byron, and I think they did go overboard on criticizing him. I'm not sure where they're going with it, but there was another moment during the pre-show, I don't know if you guys saw it, between Corey Graves and Booker T, where Corey was talking about Enzo Amore, and he goes, what's up with this Enzo Amore guy? I mean, what do we know? He could be on parole for all we know. And Booker cuts in, he goes, I was on parole once, now I'm a Hall of Famer. What do you think about that? And just
he did.
Locked eyes. To where you even saw he would not take his eyes off until they cut to another segment, and even at the very end, you see Corey just kind of like get shaken up. Like, is Booker for real right now?
Let me tell you, as someone who's been on the receiving end of the angry Booker eyes many times in my life, I bet you Corey shit his pants right there.
I was gonna say I don't know if Booker was messing with him, but damn, that was a moment where I'm like, oh,
how long did he keep his eyes locked on him?
Booker in the studio, please.
It was locked on until they cut to another segment. It was a good 10-15 seconds.
Booker was probably pissed.
Yep.
Booker, can I say, Chuck? We should never have Booker and you in the studio together. Just saying. Because you clearly let it be known that when you get the look, you shit your pants. So,
we don't want that.
Yeah, we don't need that.
But yeah, that was a really interesting
Johnny's water
moment.
smells
So
bad
we
enough.
had three. So Payback, we had 3 awesome matches, and
We had more.
No. I'm saying like 3 like lights out. Like the main event, Zayn and Owens and Ryback Kalisto were just like undeniably great matches, and then Cesaro Miz was awesome.
How about Charlotte and Natty?
Until the finish.
The finish was amazing too.
Yeah.
Which the finish was a little
Lil
odd.
Nate.
Yeah, it was explained
That was
on
cool
Raw.
to see again.
it was
Charles
awesome.
Robinson did a screw job.
Yeah.
For some reason.
I think if they're gonna do the screw job and gonna do it to invoke like Bret Hart's name, like this is the most creative way they could have done it. Like, and then the next night on Raw to like acknowledge like the history of Lil Nate and like have a video package for Charles Robinson and him like be in the ring like just toadying up to Ric Flair, like awesome. Like Ric Flair found Ric Flair managed to find someone to cheat for him by proxy. Like that's awesome.
I do like there always being a bad guy ref.
Yeah.
Like Nick Patrick was great. Like there's always a questionable ref that's like he may do something shady.
Yeah,
may work on
it
behalf of the
happens
bad
all the
guys.
time. You had Danny Davis, you had the evil Hebner, you had Nick Patrick, you know,
Brad Maddox. Kinda.
Yeah, kinda.
You know.
You know,
Teddy Long.
The only disappointing part about that is like if they're gonna use something like that and it is about because Brett is there, like, and I know Brett's older now and I know he has a hard time moving around a lot, but come on, if you're gonna be at ringside like that, at least show some emotion towards what's happening in the ring.
Well, he locked in the sharpshooter.
Yeah.
That's something.
Wait, are we ever gonna get Jim the Anvil showing up? I know it's nice that it's Bret Hart, but it just seems so sad where it's like, your dad? Do you want your dad ringside?
Yeah, they had that conversation with her like probably 6 years ago. They're like, look, nobody cares about your dad. Can we have your uncle's number?
Yeah.
It was so bad too. Like I think there was like a story a year or two ago or something where like Jim was trying to put T-shirts out on pro wrestling tees, and like WWE was like, no, you can't do this. But like they won't.
But they'll let Edge have shirts on pro wrestling tees.
Oh man,
That's kind of.
And they don't sell a Neidhart shirt.
It's fucked up.
But Jim has been on Total Divas a lot this past season, so that's been a lot of fun.
There you go.
Okay.
And also we had a #1 contender battle royal for the U.S. title. Came down to Rusev and Zack Ryder. Ryder was just getting tons of offense in, but of course Rusev ends up eliminating him. So now we're going to have Rusev going after Kalisto for the U.S. title.
So excited.
Absolutely. I think it's great that now, and then of course Lana comes down to celebrate. To me, this puts Rusev back on that U.S. title pedestal, and that was really the pinnacle of his career when he was going after it.
So what's up with the League of
they're done.
They broke up on SmackDown.
They split up last week.
They split up on SmackDown. Got it.
I really enjoyed the portions of the Battle Royal where the League of Nations members were going at it with each other.
How did they split up? Was it just like a mutual split, or was it like
Six-man
there was
tag.
a six-man tag, and like ADR walked out, and then backstage they had a big blow-up fight.
They all beat each other up.
Yeah, they each walked out of the match separately.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they all beat each other up, and then Sheamus is like, "We're done."
Yeah, it was very definitive.
Yeah.
So what's up with Sheamus now? Are we gonna get to see him off TV for a bit?
No.
He's writing a blog right now about how much he misses Ryback.
League of Nations. Yeah. No, he was he eliminated a few people from the Battle Royal. He was in the final 4.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Sheamus versus Alberto Del Rio at Extreme Rules.
That wouldn't be a terrible match.
No, because Sheamus is at his best when he gets beat up and beats people up, and so is Alberto Del Rio. Like Alberto Del Rio is at his best when he can really lay it in. So I think those guys are just going to wail on each other. And it's
those two would bring it. You talk about a stiff match.
See, that's when Sheamus is enjoyable, though.
Sheamus is great.
I've never been able to get behind Sheamus, but when he's in situations like that, that's when it's fun to watch him because the dude can fight.
Yeah, his best matches are just hard-hitting brawls. But again, Sheamus is another one of those guys where the problem with Sheamus has never been Sheamus.
Yeah, it's putting the one-note character of, oh, he's the uber good guy, and give him a call, and he'll boot something like, all right, that's not him, Make him the badass Irishman, and that's something.
Yeah, but see again, and this is always, I just get, I guess, not upset, but like when you're like, well, it's not the stuff that it's not his fault, this is what they're giving him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
New Day was given something. Look what they did with it. That's the best example I can think of right now.
But it's also
like, this isn't working. We're gonna make it our own and make it work.
But that was
But the machine can also unplug it at any time they want, and that's happened before with many other acts that we perceive to be great, and they go, nope.
Yeah, but also the thing with New Day is it was a no risk, high reward situation where it's like, let's let them try whatever. Who cares? It doesn't mean anything. Whereas like Ryback and Sheamus, every time they've been given an opportunity to try something, it's like, look, you're either going to be a main eventer or a dud after this. Like, it's not.
And Xavier has told us, he said, look, we said to them, let us try this. If it doesn't work, do whatever you want with us. Just trust us on this. And boy, oh boy, were they correct. Now, I'm with you. With Sheamus and ADR, that'd be a hell of a match.
I do not look stupid.
So
he unbeated his beard.
He did.
Yeah.
By the way, Johnny, I think that next week in here you should bring Mitch along because we need some more.
The plants?
Yeah.
Well,
He's dead.
He's dead, dude.
He
We need to
did.
get another Mitch.
Mitch too.
Mitch too.
Little Shop of Horrors, this bad boy.
He did. It's sad.
Yeah, R.I.P. Mitch.
R.I.P. Mitch. Speaking of which, though, Jericho swerving everyone on Twitter as he tends to do. Shows up on Raw.
The worst swerve ever.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I'm done with WWE. Yeah, sure, okay, whatever.
But that segment was so perfect on Raw because it was one of those things where I think if you have the Ambrose Asylum and you're using it as that like leverage tool like Stephanie did, it made her character just so much more awesome on Raw this week. Like taking that away from him because Shane gave it to him.
Yep, canceling.
And then because you always, there's that history between Stephanie and Jericho, and it's always fun no matter what when they are paired together in some capacity, even if it's just for a moment where she's like, I got somebody to take it over.
Yep, she cancels the Ambrose Asylum, and then of course Jericho hits the ring. You know it's not going to end pretty. They start brawling, and Jericho hits the code breaker, and as Ambrose has his back turned, he picks up Mitch, and he has a little message for Mitch and Ambrose.
You disrespectful, stupid idiot.
And smashes Mitch dead on the back of Ambrose, and wow,
Can we have a moment of silence for Mitch?
Yeah, we can.
All right, good enough.
Okay.
What we should have done is Leave the Memories Alone. 2 different shots of the plant.
Damn it. They probably will do something like that.
Let's do it.
Yeah, next Raw.
Have they started selling Mitches on Shop Zone yet? Because you know they will.
Should be.
I think I enjoyed the segment on Raw a lot more than I enjoyed their actual match at Payback.
I did too.
Yeah. I mean, the match was solid.
It was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. It's just
it's chapter 1.
Yeah.
It's not further along yet. Like the match you're waiting for is the Extreme Rules one, where things get crazy.
You can
Plants
actually
are
have a-
legal match.
Yeah, I just love hearing Jericho on the
Plans
mic
on a
now.
pole.
Well, no, you know what's going to happen in Extreme Rules.
Mm-hmm.
Dean Ambrose is going to hit Chris Jericho with a cactus.
Oh.
Stupid ass.
I love that. Jericho can do no wrong on the mic for me. Just whatever he wants to say.
Stupid ass.
So good.
How long is Jericho with WWE right now? Like, do we have
As long as he wants.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
Open
According to his
invitation.
Twitter, he was done the other day.
No, he
so
quit.
I,
He's done.
Just look at his website and
Is
see what Fozzy tour
is
dates.
Fozzy still touring and
Yeah,
the
sure.
thing?
check
or
his
is
blog.
Yeah,
mean,
go to Fozzy.com.
Yeah,
FozzyBand.com.
yeah, not FozzyBear.com. Totally different.
FozzyRockBand.com.
There you go. Becky Lynch and Emma, I'm digging this feud. I love how Emma, we already talked about it last week, she has completely reinvented herself. Not an easy thing to do, and she got a win on Raw over Becky Lynch with the classic, bam, Three Stooges eye poke. Loved it. Loved it. I love them both, and I really think this is another feud that people can invest in.
Yeah.
Payback was as good as we expected. We were like, all the matches look really fun, and it was great, aside, of course, from Enzo's injury, and now we have more good things.
I thought it was hilarious.
What's that?
Enzo's injury?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yes.
Jeez.
Oh, he's not a fan.
I was Lawler with a Michinoku clip at Royal Rumble 2000.
Oh, you're not a fan of Enzo Amore?
No, he's talked about it
So you
already.
laughed at his injury.
Yes.
Scott is, yeah, Scott's not exactly a fan of Enzo
So
and
you're
Cass.
what we would like to call a bad person.
I'm not the only one watching Botchamania. It's a thing. Like, you know, to watch mess ups or things happen. Like, there's a guy that I don't particularly care for.
Right.
I know he got knocked out. I knew it wasn't anything serious.
Okay.
Like, you know.
I don't know, man.
Well-
it looked pretty serious, dude.
He got knocked out.
He got knocked out.
It's a
Serious
severe
enough.
concussion.
Yes. And
Serious enough.
I don't want him to be, you know, hospitalized forever. I don't want anything like that. But when something like happens to a guy that's like, "Well, I don't really like him," okay, I laughed. As we all have at mishaps in wrestling's past.
Just need to put him and Jerry Lawler in a room together and lock the door. Shit.
Oh yeah, because you're not deviant or take pride in misfortunes.
Let's
of
move
others.
on, guys. NXT time. Samoa Joe, the new NXT champion. As we know, we got to see the end of that match versus Finn Balor at a house show. This had a very old school vibe to it, where you always have to show up at the events. You never know what's going to happen. Balor, I believe, was the all-time.
Yep. Longevity, longest reigning
Yes.
NXT.
And
Not
so
just
now-
from what I understand, I have heard this, I haven't fact checked it yet. From what I understand, he was the longest reigning developmental champ ever. Like OVW Deep South, like
Wow.
Oh.
yeah.
Was he that much longer than everybody else? I mean,
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter that much longer.
yeah, that's true.
Because it does make sense when I thought about it. Because it's like developmental, like you don't have guys sticking around for several years, and also you're trying to make guys. So like OVW championship, like that's a championship that like Punk and Cabana and
Sure.
you know, all those Brent Albright and all those people, you know, held. So
A lot of moving pieces there. So yeah, Joe's the new champion NXT. The question is, how long? I mean, does Finn? At this point, let's be honest, NXT is its own separate brand. I mean, you have Eric Young showing up. You have possibly Bobby Roode, Austin Aries. You have legitimate stars that are in NXT and comfortable there. Nakamura. I mean, what happens with Balor? Do we think he stays, or do we think
well,
Yes.
they announced that the main event of the next takeover is
Balor
Joe versus Balor 4. So that's I think that by SummerSlam or a little bit after, Finn Balor will be on the main roster.
I think Balor's gonna get inserted into this AJ Styles storyline sooner than
I'm
later.
sure he is.
How would that work? I mean,
How
They
Balor?
turn against
It's
AJ
easy.
with Balor?
Yeah. You
It
have
doesn't paint a demon anymore. It paints body armor on himself.
Yeah, after Extreme Rules or right after Extreme Rules or at Extreme Rules, you have AJ finally definitively be like, I'm not with these guys, I don't support what they do, and they beat him down, and then Finn gets revealed as the guy who's been pulling their strings all along. Or the other thing you do is you go all the way with AJ, you have him align with Gallows and Anderson for a little while, and then have Finn show up to reclaim his club.
I would do it a little bit differently, play off of your idea. I would say that you have AJ continuously saying, I'm not with these guys,
Right.
I'm not with them, but they still are kind of helping
Right.
him and they're still cool. And then Finn is the one that comes out
Yeah.
and helps AJ win the title. and you say it was a ruse all along. We're all
So they're all
together,
together. And then later you have Finn.
and then you do
the
the little
Rocky
power
thing
struggle
where-
within the group, kind of like you with Evolution.
Yeah, that would also
again.
work. Like all of these things work, but like there's a lot of different ways that you can insert Finn into the storyline. Those are just the three most common.
So many
theories.
possibilities, and it's all really kind of exciting.
I think WWE has a very unique situation on their hands right now with, for the purpose of this, we'll call them the Bullet Club, because I don't know what they're going.
The Balor Club.
Whatever you want to call them, we know what we're talking
Gallows
about.
and Anderson.
Good brothers.
Yeah, the Good Brothers.
The
If
Mexicans.
they do this
No, not
right,
that.
I thought that's what they were.
if they do this right over the next couple months, they could have a very interesting faction on their hands, very similar to NWO back in the day. And I think that would be very good for business on all levels.
Yep, it's going to
Best
be
for business.
good times.
My butt would explode.
Nakamura defeats Elias Sampson. I think it might be safe to say that the Elias Sampson experiment, not quite what they had planned out. Carmelo defeats Aaliyah, who's the young girl from Breaking Ground.
Noof.
I will say this.
She looked awesome.
She came a long way from that show. When she first came out the ring, I was like, oh, this might be rough. No, I was impressed.
Yeah, she was great. She's awesome.
Really impressed. Asuka defeats Eva Marie. A stare down with Nia Jax afterwards. I mean, I'll say this. Eva Marie's getting in there with Asuka, and she's getting her butt kicked, but she's doing it.
Eva Marie's best straight up wrestling match she's ever had.
Yeah.
Not her best match, because Bayley versus Eva Marie for the title was just booked to perfection.
Blatant cheating, yeah.
Super great, amazing story, but absolutely Eva Marie's best. Like, I've been an Eva Marie stan for a long, long time.
Well, what did we say in here? What was it? 6 months ago, 8 months ago, whatever, when Spanky had been talking about trainer, and he's like, you watch, she's gonna be good.
And she's getting better all the time. She's getting more comfortable with working the crowd and responding to people and reacting to things as they happen. And, she's come a long way, and she's advanced a lot more slowly than a lot of other people, but that's because when she got into wrestling, she stopped wrestling right away.
Yep.
And just moved to, being a personality.
I think she's a perfect example of what NXT is supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think, we talk about in here, it's its own brand now, it's its own thing, but we cannot forget that is, there is no more OVW in the sense of what it, that it's, this is where they go to train.
Hidden
they bring
developmental.
They bring these people in, and this is where they're supposed to develop.
Well, yeah, Eva. We glossed over Dark Emma. I know we're short on time, but Emma getting sent back to NXT is the absolute best thing that's ever happened.
But think about it, though. We mentioned this before in the show. That had to be incredibly difficult for her, because she goes to the main roster, doesn't work out.
Because she got fired.
Well, that too.
But yeah, that's it. It's the hardest thing that you're gonna have to go through as a wrestler, is realizing I have to start over from square one.
And on camera.
Yeah, but Emma, how much she is one of my absolute favorite wrestlers in the world right now. And just as much as we loved the Bubbles dancing Emma,
this is way
how
better.
much better is this?
There's more layers to it. It's like when we talked to Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, we said, where did Bray Wyatt come from? He goes, honestly, I was at a really dark point in my life. I was very depressed. I wasn't happy with where my career was going, and this just started happening. I just started talking this way, and I started thinking this way, and I feel like maybe that's what happened for her. Think about it. She's here at the main roster. She's thinking, this is it. This is my shot. It gets all taken away, and some people will just go away and quit. She had to look deep inside herself and say, you know what? I'm too damn good to let this break me, and she didn't let it break her. And now look.
And that's absolutely been her character and her motivation, is going back to NXT and having this new persona of look, your dreams don't work out. I'm going to teach all you other women that your dreams don't work out. I'm going to punch you in the face. That's been her character and her motivation, and it's been awesome. And she never would have evolved to this form if that hadn't happened.
You see, I think Emma is a perfect example of what WWE should use as a roadmap going forward with a lot of their people. For instance, we're talking about Rybacks, the Sheamuses, the Del Rios, where maybe their characters don't always click. That's a good opportunity. If it were me and I was WWE and I'm invested in keeping Ryback and I want to figure out a way to work this out, I'd send his ass down to NXT for a couple months, make him work on a new character down there while he has a chance to still be developing it, still wrestling, instead of just sitting at home. See if he could work something out there.
I think what
come
he
back
did,
up and try.
I think what he's been doing and what he did on Sunday, if that stayed consistent, I mean,
Ryback did completely revamp himself just a few months ago on the main roster. I agree with what you're saying, and that's something that Tyson Kidd did, and it helped revamp his career, and it's something that Titus O'Neil did, and it helped him.
Zack Ryder, you could kind of say
Cesaro did it a bit, and Zack Ryder did it. So no, the Hype Brothers has helped out Zack Ryder tremendously. The only problem is, I think that Sheamus, Ryback, and Alberto Del Rio are on the other side of like that line where it's like we can send these people to NXT and they can revamp themselves. Versus these are WWE people. Like these are people. Like honestly, like whatever you think of Ryback and Sheamus and Alberto Del Rio, these are people that people on at WWE Raw are buying a ticket to see.
Absolutely.
I don't want to group Del Rio in with the two of them because I think that Del Rio is out of those three, I think Del Rio is far superior.
Okay.
So. That's just my opinion, of course, but
I'm saying like there gets a point.
They're established.
There's a point. Yeah, there's a point at which
the kids, and I can't deny it either. Kids love Ryback.
Yeah.
Like Ryback is over with
when
the
he's
kids.
a face. Kids love Sheamus.
Yeah.
Right, and
well, you mentioned the Hype Bros. They took out Blake and Murphy. Blake and Murphy seem to be kind of just
what happened to them?
Yeah.
Like they were the tag team champions out of nowhere at one point.
Sure were.
They were looking good. They were entertaining, and then
I mean, Alexa Bliss has kind of moved on, and Blake and Murphy need to
They
be revamped.
hitched their wagon to Alexa Bliss's star, and her star is taking off too fast for them to keep up with.
Yeah, I mean, neither one of them were ever talkers, and that's a problem in a way, especially when
Also when Revival comes around, and you're like, oh. This is what a team like that is capable of.
And they also won. They destroyed a couple of dudes at NXT this week.
3.0. Not a couple of dudes. 3.0.
3.0.
Shane Matthews and Scott Jagged Parker.
There you go.
Amazing dude. Former two-time Chikara Campeones de Parejas. Canadian dudes. Friends of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Awesome. I was really happy to be able to be there live for this match happening.
Oh, cool.
Because they came out, and I was like, it's 3.0, and like no one on my side of the building like had any idea who these guys were. I'm like, oh my god, it's 3.0.
It was
NXT.
a good match.
Oh my god, and like within 45 seconds, like Shane Matthews had everybody in that building when he was like, I'm obeying the rules, and then started the defense chant. Like I really hope the defense chant becomes an NXT
it picked
thing.
up, and it was a great match.
Yeah, no, awesome match, and they got to look like absolute stars taking a world-class beating.
To their credit, to Dash and Dawson as well. That was a really fun match to see.
Amazing match.
Well, with that said, time to move on to Impact. The undefeated streak is over. 30 months. Scott Narver of not losing a match. EC3 loses to Mike Bennett.
Yeah, this was Sacrifice. This wasn't just any Impact.
It was
wrestling.
Sacrifice.
It was Sacrifice. That was definitely a shocker. They are making Mike Bennett a major player.
Mm-hmm.
Is he Bennett to win it?
He's.
That was a miracle whip of a joke right there.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
No.
Okay. Continue.
Yeah, it was. You know, I just expected EC3 to win, or there to be a count out or something like that. Not a major win. But then when Borash had said beforehand, like, there has to be a pinfall or submission, it's like, oh right, okay.
Yeah.
But I just still thought EC3 would take it.
So who do you think is going to be the person to put the Miracle on ice?
Oh my god.
Kurt Russell, and he's right here in my pocket.
Wait,
that's Seth Green.
Oh, I thought he was.
Well, we're talking about ice. I think Gordon Bombay should probably be involved. Coach of the Mighty Ducks.
Yes.
Vanilla Ice.
Emilio needs a check.
Okay, I'm gonna do that for myself. All right. We also had a bunch of stuff going on in Sacrifice. New tag champs. Decay takes the titles off of Beer Money, which perhaps that's the beginning of the end for the TV run for Bobby Roode on Impact Television.
Bobby Roode took thumbtacks to the back.
He did, and I really enjoy how they've managed to take Crazy Steve and Abyss, two wrestlers who basically were just kind of floundering around. They bring in this woman. I don't know what her real name is, but she goes by Rosemary. Such a good performer, and together they've put together this weird team called Decay, and they've been really good.
Crazy Steve needs a new name.
Crazy Steve.
I'm just so happy to see Crazy Steve on TV and succeeding, because this guy is a good wrestler who's been hustling to try and make it for a long time.
Yeah.
And I mean, do you guys remember when Jeff Katz did that Wrestling Retribution project out here? Man, I don't know.
No one ever saw it, but yeah.
No one ever saw it, but
I've heard about it for years.
The roster on it was
it's like the day the clown cried. It's like an apocryphal.
The roster that was on it is, I mean, you're watching WWE right now.
Oh yeah, really good.
But Crazy Steve.
Dale
couldn't
worked
even-
on that.
I worked on it too.
There you go. Yeah.
So,
Sure.
Yeah.
All
But-
the NWO was in it too.
Yeah.
But I remember when we were kind of trying to put wrestlers on it and bring wrestlers in. Crazy Steve was one of the guys that was being considered and didn't even make the cut for that.
Mm-hmm.
And to see that, and he was really good. Like, he could have been on it, you know what I mean? But to see that he's been doing his thing for that long and finally getting this opportunity in TNA over the last couple years, awesome.
But Rosemary's the one that's really pulled it all together. She's very creepy, very disturbing. She's fantastic on the mic, and she's really good in the ring. And so she actually won her match as well. She defeated Gail Kim with a lot of shenanigans involved, but yeah, Decay, new tag team champions, beer money. This could be the beginning of the end for them, unfortunately. We already mentioned with James Storm. We have a new King of the Mountain champ. Not quite sure what the King of the Mountain does, but Bram defeated Eric Young with the brighter side of suffering through a
It
table.
might be the end of Eric Young on TNA too.
Quite possible.
It might be.
Forgive my
possible.
ignorance here, but the King of the Mountain title is only defended in a King of the Mountain match, right?
Nope.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, just because it's just a different title.
You would,
Not when
you
Jarrett
would
came
think that would make sense, right?
No, they've already had like 3 title changes since Jarrett brought it back.
Right.
I've got 2 words for you. Dixie Carter.
Oh, I thought you were going to say TNA.
It's kind of like their, I guess you can call it maybe their version of the television championship, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just another title at this point. It's not.
King of the Hill.
Serious question. Not trying to be funny.
Bobby, I told you to hang on to the title.
Not trying to be funny. Not trying to be negative. What do you guys think is the more prestigious title right now? The TNA Championship or the NXT Championship?
No, NXT. Yeah, I mean, sorry.
So sad.
I love Drew Galloway. He's a great, but
that was a crazy thing. Is like when Samoa Joe won the TNA Championship, I was like, I'm so happy for that guy. He finally did it, and I was like, well, wait a minute.
It's TNA.
He's like the greatest Ring of Honor World Champion of all time.
Right.
It's also an NWA and TNA champion. Like,
sure.
Oh, never mind.
Same with Aries too. I mean, he hasn't won the NXT Championship, but he's a 2-time Ring of Honor champ.
He's a
former TNA
Grand
World
Slam winner
Everything.
in TNA.
Yeah.
Just, but you know,
it changes from time to time. Like there are times when one company's title is more prestigious than someone else's, and I like it when it changes. I mean, hell, we've been talking about this for weeks that now the Knockouts division is so much lower than the women's division in WWE. So
part of the
before,
problem
if you're the Divas champion or the women's champion, it's like so.
Well,
look
like,
at the Knockouts champ.
Remember when, like, I don't know if you guys remember when, like, Pierce and Cabana were, like, trading the NWA championship back and forth?
Oh,
and we were
7
like,
levels
oh
of
my
hate.
God, yeah.
I was part of it.
great.
Like, I was there for one of the matches when
Which
we were
level?
But
I forget.
we were all, like, so happy for Colt back then. It's like, oh my God, they believe enough in him to put the NWA title on him. So
Yeah, a lot of good stuff. And also, Eli Drake's new talk show, Fact to Life.
Dummy, yeah.
That's my new favorite soundbite. He hits the Staples Easy button and calls people dummies.
Dummy, yeah.
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 And then he says,
Dummy,
yeah.
I think
He's having fun with that too, man. Like,
Yeah, that's why Ambrose Asylum got canceled, because this show's way better.
Dummy, yeah.
he doesn't
Does he
even
have a
guess.
plan,
He just
though?
makes fun of people.
Does he have a plant, though?
No, there's no plan.
No.
He's got a podium.
Yeah, he had 2 plants. Robbie E. and the other
Yeah.
guy.
Dummy,
And Jesse Goddard.
What was the name of the security force in TNA? The 2 security guys?
Oh, the Harris brothers?
No, what was the name
The
of the...
Basham brothers.
Never mind.
Okay,
Keep going.
moving on.
Kane and Undertaker.
We're about to get to our interview with Sasha Banks, so yeah, we love the segment with Eli Drake, and we should just get him on the show again soon because I just want him to call everyone dummies.
That is must-see television.
we went out with him on Saturday night, and dude was wearing
invited. Were you invited?
this white tuxedo jacket kind of thing.
Were you going to a formal?
No, we were going out to bars. Like a group of us was going to bars, and and then he was also wearing these like old school Jordans. And I'm telling you, every single person on the street stopped and was like, "Damn, you know how to dress."
Wait, he was
really
wearing
well.
Was he wearing shorts too, or just Jordans?
No, he
with-
was wearing like
No
suit
pants. Donald ducking it.
Yeah.
It was just really funny, and he's like the thing, like the character that you see him doing on TV is
It's-
it's almost real.
People try to compliment him. He's like,
dummy, yeah.
All right, so we got to sit down with Sasha Banks WrestleMania weekend, and it was a blast. And she, it was prior to her huge match for the Women's Championship, and just kind of goes, she's had an interesting road, but man, she has really risen through the ranks fast. She's an incredible athlete, great performer, and we had a great time talking to her.
Yeah, the big things probably coming around, I guess, would be SummerSlam.
Let's hope so. But until then, enjoy our interview with Sasha Banks.
Good, yeah, just match my hair. Maybe a little hair dye in there. Who knows?
We grabbed the bagel. There's probably just so much gluten and weird things in this bagel right now.
Yeah, Johnny, you're eating too much hair dye these days.
I know.
Got it? Bring it down. It's your number one problem, for sure.
It's really throwing off my cheek. We already started the interview.
All right,
This is what we do. We ease people into it with awkwardness.
We trick everyone with bagels.
I started it with the bagel, so yeah.
She fell for it.
Well, first of all,
That was
let's
a great
talk.
trick.
You guys both look amazing.
Yeah.
We tried.
I mean, that's
We
a
know.
picturesque moment.
I wanted to compliment, not match. You got to go alternating colors. It's
Colors in
Animania.
right now.
He's the reason we got in, because we tried to get in the door. The doors were locked. Some lady ran over to us. She opened the door. She goes, "I like your hair."
Oh, there you go.
And then she tried to keep us, not you guys, just yeah, all right.
I like that you're talking about us instead of talking to her.
Well, no, we are. We're
It's all
easing
good.
into it.
It's
We're easing
easing,
into it.
yes.
So you like purple bagels? We know that now.
Yeah.
Number one.
I love wrestling, and that's why we're here. It's amazing. WrestleMania.
We're into wrestling too, so this is gonna work out.
Awesome.
You talk about a stage. You got a big stage coming
Oh
up.
my God! Yesterday I got to see the stadium, and just to see that picture outside, which is 60 feet tall, and I was just like,
You smack dab in the middle.
what the?
Yeah.
The women are in the middle. Holy.
We've been talking for weeks now. We've been saying that your match is going to steal the show.
Yikes! That's so much pressure.
I'm sorry. No.
No pressure.
No pressure. No.
You know, 100,000 people watching me.
But we're soothsayers. We know the future. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It will
we're
be good
letting
then?
you know.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I don't need to know. I'm Sasha Banks. My matches are always good.
Right.
But yeah, it's crazy just to know that everyone's talking about the women's match. Like, that's a first time.
It's about
ever.
time, right?
It's been a long time coming. And man, I am so excited. But seeing that stage yesterday, I was just like, it is so long, and I hope I don't pass out. But you know what? I'll be good. I'm ready for
Just
Sunday.
get some electrolytes in the system.
Yes, I'll make sure I'll drink a lot of Gatorade before I go out.
Maybe they can get that old school cart thing that you
Yes.
bring them out in, the mini
Maybe
ring.
take a little nap and be like, oh, this is great.
You pass out, you play possum, and then they come. Yeah,
Ready to go.
that's how you get the title.
I mean, let's go back on your journey a little bit. I mean, you're still so incredibly young, and here you are at the top of the game already.
I don't feel young, man. My body. Yes, but I am 24. This has been a dream of mine since I was 10. So 14 years later, I'm here. Yeah, but ever since I was 10, this has been my dream. And I remember when I was 12, I emailed so many wrestling schools all over Canada, New Jersey, California, and at the time I was living in like Iowa or Minnesota. They're all like, no, not till you're 18, not till you're 16. So I joined MMA school to get me ready for it because I watched an RBD at 16. So I watched an RBD DVD and I was like, oh, try to be like him. So then I turned 18, joined a wrestling school. 2 years later I got signed, and here I am now, guys.
How did that process come about? So you started training at 18, and within 2 years you got signed. Were you just a fast learner?
Well, I feel like I've been training for this since I was 10. I legit studied wrestling and I would write down matches since I was 10, just imagining, even promos, characters, gear, storylines. So I just always felt like I knew this, and also, this is embarrassing, but I used to rent How to Be a Wrestler DVD, and I would practice in my bed.
And your parents were like, what
My
is
mom's like,
going
what
on?
are you doing?
Who are you talking to in
I used to
there?
bring my brother's mattress and put it on top of another mattress because I took one bump and I went through the mat. I was like, oh, that hurt. But yeah, I used to do that. So I just always felt like I was prepared for it. And
Did you ever drop an elbow on a friend while they were on an ottoman? That's always been
No, I didn't have any friends that liked wrestling. It was only me.
Lots of ottomans, no friends.
No friends. I thought it was so weird.
How to Build an Ottoman DVD came in very handy.
I like that.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Could you have picked a better debut WrestleMania for you though? Like with these girls that you're in the ring with? I mean,
Yeah,
it seems so story perfect.
It is, and it just like 2 years ago, I was part of Triple H's entrance, and I remember doing that, and I was like, this is amazing, but I want my own moment, and I can't wait for it. 2 years later, here I am, and last year I just got to be a fan and be in the crowd and watch it, and I was like, wow. And the fact that even Snoop Dogg's gonna be inducted, and that's my cousin.
Right.
We're on the same WrestleMania. Like,
did you grow up? Because he obviously, Long Beach and all over the world. How would you in contact growing up?
only when he went to wrestling shows, I called up. I used that card. Hey, can I come with you? I love wrestling, so that's the only time.
We were planning a family reunion, but it fell through.
Yeah.
So can I just meet you at the wrestling show?
Right? That's the only time, but it's just crazy how life, it legit comes full circle and everything just seems to fall into place. And, here we are. I haven't even been on the main roster for a year, and things are happening so fast, but it's been incredible.
And you speak to being a fan your entire life, now it's been 14 years. It's so obvious when people watch your matches. I'm sure you've been told this, but your ring psychology is that of a 30-year veteran.
Oh,
has anyone ever said that? No, because like, for example, the match with you and Bailey, when you did that one moment where you ripped off and started stomping on her, that was something that you would see in Mid-South in the 80s that you just didn't see.
I just felt it.
Yeah.
It was like her hand was broken. Let me break it again.
I'm telling you, with that
Gave it my all and I lost. Damn it.
I'm telling you.
Well, it's the not questioning any of the reality again. When you're just sucked in and watching, like you bring that to the show where when watching it, you just believe. You don't see it otherwise, and then you walk away and you go, wow, that was intense. And it being in the spot, it's having earned it and taking it, and that's so exciting to see. So when you talk about the anticipation and nervousness, it's everybody's on your side, and I feel like everybody wants it to be there again. Everybody's tired of it's the entire Divas in a match, and if they go through the middle rope, it's over, and then we cut to commercial. Like, no, they want to see it wrestling again from the Divas.
It's crazy how far we've come. I mean, when I started in NXT, we were told just to wrestle like divas. And we were so confused what that was. They just like, do hair pulling, no hitting, no forearms, no punches, no this. Like, rules. And it's just like, why? Like, why do we need to put a label on it and just be girls that are pretty and can't do anything when I know that I'm better than this? And I trained my butt off. Like, in the Independence, I was the only girl in my class, and man, I fought just like the guys, and I was like, I want more. But when I started in NXT, we only had 2 minutes for our matches, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and it was all due with time and opportunity. We took every moment that we had and made it more. So it's just getting the opportunity when I come up to the main roster. And I think after WrestleMania, it's when we're really going to have that moment of, wow, women can do way more than expected, and we don't have to put a label on it. It won't be just that was a great Divas match. It's just that's a great match. Period. That's what I want in life. So,
what do you attribute the shift to? Like, why has it become so much a better scene for Divas?
I don't. Just our hard work. I mean, it started with the Emma and Paige with their takeover match, and I watched that in the back, and I was like, that was great. I can do better. So just give me the opportunity because I can do better. And it's just taking every opportunity that we had, from the Fatal 4-Way, from my match with Charlotte, to Becky, Bailey, and just making it more every single time and having fans talk about the women and people buying tickets to see the women. And, we're just really taking over, and it's so exciting to be a part of history right now.
And how influential is Dusty? I'm sure there's not enough time to even.
There's not. I can't even. He was absolutely incredible, and what makes me really sad is seeing the newer kids come in and they don't get to experience Dusty, because he truly changed my life and made me the person I am today, made me the character, and he's someone who's just always believed in every single person who ever stepped foot at the Performance Center in FCW, to everybody on the main roster went through Dusty, and I can't say enough good words about him. I miss him dearly, but I know he's smiling, and I know he's so happy that his girls are part of wrestling.
Speaking of that, I've heard stories about how, when he was working with you guys with promos, about he would get like sassy himself.
Oh my God, yes. Sasha, baby, no. And you get up in front of the class, oh, I should be like this, baby. sassy. I see you be sassy with me. I'm like, okay, that's true.
Hey,
He's better
I got
than me.
it.
Yes.
If he's gonna do it, I'll move the hips.
Yes. God, I learned so much from him, and there'll be no one ever like him. And God, I miss him. He's amazing. Was amazing.
Beautiful way to. You have to move on, I think.
And I gotta honor him with that polka dot ottoman that you have in your house.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll do it. Get my gear maker to make me one.
Well, this has been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Of course, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
We gotta clap.
Oh wait. Oh. Everyone clap it off. Everyone.
All right, everybody. That was our interview with Sasha Banks at WrestleMania Weekend Radio Row. With that said, this has been a hell of a show. Unfortunately, Dale is too tangled up at the French Embassy, was not able to join us this week. But what are you going to do? We had a great show. We had Sasha
surrendered.
Banks.
He's sorry.
Well, Dale, I tried to get you out of the French Embassy, and they were just too Frenchy.
It was just they said kiss, and I did.
They said French. And then they hit me over the head with that bread. You know, it's hard bread.
Baguette.
Yeah, those baguettes that got me. One of them is stuck in my ear.
All on cigarettes, riding on bicycles, getting away from me.
I'll tell you what, Dale. I tried my best to get in the French Embassy, and I just couldn't do it.
Hi, Sylvan.
All right, let's end the show real quick. Let's all put ourselves over. We're at WrestlingBuds on Twitter. Of course, we're Facebook.com/WrestlingBuds. Bill Hanstock, go.
You can find me on Twitter at Sundown Motel. Check out my weekly wrestling podcast, Rudo Radio, which you can find on iTunes, Stitcher, wherever else fine podcasts are sold. Check out CageSideSeats.com for all of your pro wrestling need. Also, SBNation.com/wrestling. And check out my movies on Netflix.
Chuck Rice.
You can find me on Twitter at CRice17. You can find me on Instagram at Chuck Rice. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
Scotty North.
You can follow me on Twitter at Curtain Jerks, and you can listen to my comedy wrestling podcast, Curtain Jerks, available on iTunes and SoundCloud, and also YouTube.com/OnYourMarkShow. New episode up with this guy right over here, Johnny LaQuasto.
Oh, that was a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah, got accosted by Marky Extreme and Skeeter Skyflyer.
I mean, I like the show. I have nothing to do with it, but it's fun to watch.
I love the show. Mm-hmm. I was surprised
You
to be
look a little scared, Johnny.
I was a little scared by them.
Did you take the gig?
Yeah, I mean, I'm working on it.
Okay, good.
I can't really talk about it. Contract negotiations.
Oh, blog about it.
That's right. At Jay Quasto on Twitter. Some big stuff coming up. May 12th to 14th, I'll be at the Tacoma Comedy Club in Washington. My good buddy Rachel Feinstein's headlining. She just had an hour-long Comedy Central special debut last week. Her friend Amy Schumer produced the whole thing, and so she'll be headlining. I'm going to be opening for Can't Wait, Tacoma Comedy Club, May 26th. Huge charity show, Comedy Store in Hollywood. The Regular Hero organization that I'm involved with, 100% of the proceeds go directly to children and families that we've met and gotten to know at the Children's Hospital Los Angeles. May 26th, 8 p.m. Please, if you're in the area, hit me up on social media, buy a ticket. All the money's going to an amazing cause. And of course, East Coast, June 15th, headlining Arts Quest in Bethlehem in Pennsylvania, where I'm from. Go to jlocomedy.com for all dates. And of course, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, our next date is Sunday, May 15th. If you're in SoCal, make sure you go out to see us. Or if you have the Fight TV app or Patreon or U2 America or KDOC, you can make sure that you watch us. With that said, of course, follow Dale Rutledge on Twitter at The Walking Dale. And we love you guys. Thanks so much. We are going to see y'all next week.